Hi, folks, and welcome to episode 155 of the Video Game Choo Choo podcast. I'm your host, John, and with me this week is Michael.
Hi, I'm the Groundhog.
How many more weeks of winter do we have?
6.
Wonderful. And we have Ryan.
I'm the Armadillo.
How many more car crashes are we going to have this year?
A lot, probably.
All right, wonderful. Thank you very much. And I am the possum, and I'm here to tell you how many people are going to get rabies this year. It's a historical low. Congratulations, everybody.
Yay!
Yay, we did it. We beat rabies.
Something good about
No,
2017.
You definitely didn't beat it, but people aren't going to get bit as much as usual this year. I can guarantee it, because I have rabies, and I know.
Oh. That's how it works. When you get something, you're an expert on it.
Yes, it's true.
Yeah.
I mean, you become an expert if you interact with something for 1,000 hours, and I've definitely had rabies for 1,000 hours, which means I'm probably going to die soon.
So I'm like a Team Fortress 2 expert then, right?
Yes.
Great. I think I've only played around like 300 hours in that game, but it's high enough for me to ascribe some kind of ridiculous hyperbole
Yes.
when I talk about it.
Hyperbole.
Is the Hyperbole like the alternate universe version of the Super Bowl? Like they
It's a
all
big game soon.
Yeah, they all get on the field and the ball is 4-dimensional and all the commercials are in smell-o-vision and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
That sounds
Yep.
like the Hyperbole. Or maybe it's just some gross DeviantArt fetish type thing, the Hyperbole. Let's hope not.
The Hyperbole is the exact same thing as the Super Bowl, but they give everyone a lot of coffee.
So college.
I wasn't drinking a lot of coffee
me
in
neither.
college, but it's really nice of you to say.
Yeah, my knowledge of stereotypical college behavior boils down to drinking a lot of coffee and skipping class and drinking a lot of things that aren't coffee that are probably worse for you. So,
See, I never knew anyone who drank coffee until maybe like later in junior or senior years, certainly like grad students. I knew a lot of people who drank energy drinks because those don't need to be brewed and you don't need to like buy them at a Starbucks.
Sure.
You just buy them and then you have them.
I gotcha.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you all for your wonderful predictions
No problem.
for the year. More car crashes, more winter, less rabies. You take what you can get.
It's a good trade-off.
That's like, what, two out of 3?
Yeah.
So,
Or 1 out of 3 positive.
yeah.
So,
Depends on your winter opinions, I guess, but take what you can
and
get.
and also if you work at a scrap heap, that might be a positive.
Yeah.
All those scrap heap workers.
I don't know.
Mater from Cars is really excited about the year 2017, so...
Did he work at a scrap heap?
I don't know, dude. He's like a tow truck, so I feel
Wouldn't
like...
that just be like
Yeah.
a graveyard?
Yeah. See, I feel like
I don't like that.
the car...
So he's an undertaker.
Oh, Lord. Yeah, he shows up on stage at the Royal Rumble and then gets his ass kicked, so...
He's too old.
Yeah.
Don't you bet not the
No,
undertaker.
I want the Undertaker,
He needs to
but...
retire.
He will soon, probably. Maybe not. I don't know. They said that like years ago. So.
Undertaker's Texas local. I mean, a lot of wrestlers are, but he's definitely one of the big ones from around here. So
Yeah.
There are a lot of wrestlers seem to be from either. A lot of wrestlers seem to be like retiring to, or at some point move to and reside in either Texas or Tampa, Florida.
sure.
And I don't know.
I feel
why.
like Florida, that's like the old people state, so you get a lot of people retiring to there anyway. But I don't know. I think there's something about the spirit of wrestling and just the nature of Texas that are combined on some deep intrinsic spiritual level, and I can't explain it, but it's there. Trust me.
I mean, some of it has to do with like both Florida and Texas had local, federations
Sure.
that don't exist anymore, but used to be very prominent and only prominent within the state.
Sure.
Whereas, like, the Southeast had its own thing, and I guess Georgia had its own thing as well, but Florida had, like, its circuit of wrestlers and a lot of the big names would come here, and I know Texas had that too, so maybe they just never left? I don't know.
I don't know. I get...
It's warm here, I guess.
I get why there's a lot of wrestlers that come out of Texas, because unless you live just, like, down the middle strip of the state, there's nothing to do here. Like, East Texas, it's all forest and fields, and West Texas, it's all deserts and more fields. So, unless you're right in that sweet... Like, you know how scientists have the Goldilocks zone, where it's the part of the solar system that can perfectly maintain life on a planet? Well, Texas...
Liquid water.
Texas has that kind of thing, too. It's like the Goldilocks zone of Texas. It's like from Denton down through Dallas to kind of Fort Worth to Austin, and then I don't really know what much is south of Austin, San Antonio, and a few states south of there. But if you go to the extreme west or extreme east of Texas, there's basically nothing. So,
What makes it, like, so perfect? Is it just like Is it just like a planet where it's temperature, atmosphere,
listen,
weed? I don't know.
I wouldn't say it's perfect, but there's just more here in the middle of Texas than there is on the left and the right, if you will.
Maybe just that was the one spot, like, leaving from the eastern United States. They just said, all right, we made it here. We can't go to the sun setting.
Nope.
Oh, well.
Yeah. I see some cactuses on the other side of this valley. We gotta stop.
That can't be good.
Yeah.
Prickly trees.
So speaking of wrestlers living in Florida, Mick Foley, like, lived in the last city I used to live. Like, his daughter went to my high school.
No kidding.
Really?
Yeah.
With you?
She was a senior when I was a freshman.
Oh, wow.
It's pretty radical.
She's a reality show star now.
Yeah, like, I mean, I never met her. I didn't actually, like, know that she was there until later. Like, a friend of mine, like, a year or two after she graduated, like, casually mentioned, like, yeah, no, I saw Mick Foley walking around the school one time because he, like, came in for some parent-teacher thing. And I was like, all right,
That's fucking wild. Mankind is there for the PTA meeting. He's gonna...
that would be really surreal of, like... Here's the PTA meeting, and he just, like, falls in through the ceiling onto thumbtacks. Like, oh, I'm here.
Hey, guys, how's it going?
God, I wish.
Oh, hi, Foley. Mr. Foley.
I never had any experiences like that, per se, but I do know where I used to live. For those of you who are familiar with Texas, and maybe there's, like, one or two of you, in the North Texas Highland Village Flower Mound area, that's where the lead singer from Bowling for Soup lives, so... Or lived at one point,
really,
so...
That's really specific.
Yeah, I never met him, but I knew he was kind of around, I guess. Fun fact.
That's a wonderful fact. If you ever run into him, you need to talk to him about Charles Entertainment Cheese, who he currently voices.
Really?
Yeah.
That's wild. I mean, now I'm in Austin, and there's all sorts of famous people down here, but back in North Texas, the guy from Bowling for Soup, fucking A-list celebrity. So, there you go.
That dude's been on the Warped Tour. Wow.
Who hasn't been on the Warped Tour? Like, I'm 90% sure by the end of the decade, I'm going to end up being on the fucking Warped Tour, just, like, talking about video games on stage. Like, hey, teens, who wants to talk about Smash Bros? Like...
Who wants to talk about why is the beer $10 here and the water $8?
Oh my god.
Doesn't make sense. Just practice your stand-up.
Hideo Kojima is going to be at Warped Tour with, like, one of those purple skunk stripes in his hair to promote, like, Death Stranding next year. He's, like, headlining and all that.
That wouldn't surprise me.
You joke, but I could see him and, like, Mads, like, showing up in fucking, like, leather jackets and just fucking, like, draping all over each other. Like, oh, hello.
Maybe that's where they'll promote the next No More Heroes game at Warped Tour.
Oh, that would actually work.
Yeah, exactly.
I did play Rock Band when I went to Warped Tour one time.
Uh-huh.
They were promoting Rock Band 2, I think it was 2, in a tent. It was impossible to play because you're in a tent in a field where there are multiple concerts going on at once. So, yeah, that was really dumb.
Michael,
I don't know why I ended up playing
So
it.
you've actually been to a Warped Tour, Michael?
Multiple times,
Really?
yeah.
Wow, I had no idea you were so punk.
I mean, yeah, I like a different variety of music, and they don't do, like, today's lineup. I guess I haven't even, I don't even know if this year's is out yet. I assume not, but last year's, I thought about it, but the last 2 or 3 years, I look at the lineup, and it's like, 2 bands I want to see, or there'll be like quite a few, but they don't come down here and play these dates. It comes to St. Pete here, so I haven't gone in a while. Yeah, like, you know, you see some good metal bands, you see some good punk bands. I think Modest Yahoo played one year. You see some weird shit at a Warped
Hell
Tour.
yeah.
I bet.
What sucks is they don't release like the actual schedule. Like, they'll release who's there, but they won't release like what time they play until I think day of or day before. And you know, I haven't gone to one in quite a bit, but so I was a little bit younger, and all my friends were a little bit younger, so none of us wanted to wake up at say 8 a.m. to go to a concert. We wanted to like actually get sleep, so we'd always arrive at like 1 or 2 and inevitably always miss at least one band.
I gotcha.
It sucked.
What a bummer. All right,
Yeah,
so
you know, we still get drunk.
yeah, I bet.
Turns out it's kind of easy to sneak in bottles of water.
Of course, because water's expensive at those things.
It's $8. No lie, it's $8.
Yeah,
It's
that's
fucking
way
ridiculous.
too fucking much. So, everyone, friends, video games happened this week. Quite a few, in fact. So why don't we discuss them? Ryan, how about we start with you? What's been going on, man?
Sure, yeah, hey. Hi, everyone. I've been here, but no, I'm introducing myself again for some reason. I've been I say ever since, like it was like a month ago, but since I finished Resident Evil 7 last week, I haven't had a whole lot of time to play much of anything, but I did get in some Hitman.
I'm a little... I wouldn't say that I'm bummed that you played it, but I'm a little bummed that I wasn't able to play some because I actually bought Hitman today. You got it yesterday because as of recording, that was the time schedule because they put out the Steelbook like collection of the first season yesterday
on Tuesday,
and then on Tuesday of last week, I guess now. But yeah, I bought it today.
Nice.
So didn't get around to playing it yet because I had to record some stuff, but you know.
Yeah.
Where the cookie crumbles. But Ryan, please share your thoughts on Hitman with us, please.
Yeah, absolutely. So first off, I'll just address the elephant in the room per se. When this game was coming out in episodes, or when it was just out in general, a lot of people were upset that the game always required you to play online. Now, Square Enix or IO or whoever announced that they had put in a patch that made it where you don't have to be online all the time, and people rejoiced. But as I found out today and yesterday, at the time of this recording, it's basically 2 completely different games, playing that game online and offline. When you play that game online, you know you've got everything, it's the full experience, and when you play it offline, all you can do are the basic 6 story missions, and you can't access the challenges, you can't access the escalations, you can't even access your inventory to pick what you start with. It won't even let you get experience points for the mastery levels that lets you unlock new items and stuff like that. All that is still completely restricted to playing the game online, which is fine for me, but I did notice that since that game is online and it has to load in those levels, some of the load times in that game are wicked. Like, it can take a while to load in stuff in that game.
The load times were bad before they made the difference. Before they patched the offline mode.
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because when you're online, you're connected, and it takes longer to load everything because it's connected to the internet. So, I mean, it's a great game. I was going to play it online anyway, but for anybody who's listening and is thinking, oh, I should play Hitman, and I don't need a PS Plus subscription or whatever, think again, because...
You don't need a PS Plus subscription.
Really? Are you sure?
No. You can connect your PS4 online without a PS Plus. A PS Plus just means you get the games and multiplayer access.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, because I had it connected to the internet earlier today, but it wouldn't let me play the game unless I was signed in to my PlayStation account. So...
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it ties... So, like, all the leveling up and all the items you unlock is tied to you as a profile.
Oh, well.
So once you sign in, it pings the server and goes, oh, this is Ryan, he's level whatever on this, and level whatever on this, he's unlocked this. So you don't need PS
All right,
Plus.
fair enough. My bad.
Yeah.
You just need to be signed in.
I assumed that it was intrinsically connected to PS Plus, but still the point remains, if you're somebody who doesn't have a... I don't know who... that kind of qualifies it now, but just be aware for anybody who's thinking about buying this game, playing it offline is basically Hitman Lite. You essentially get half or even less than half of the available content for that game. But anyway, in terms of the experience, I think it's great. I know we gave that game, number 2 on Game of the Year?
Yep.
Yeah, that was well deserved. This game's really good. It's weird because I had waited until the physical release to buy it because I wanted, all the content, but playing it, I realized that game is probably best experienced in the episodic format. And the reason for that is that game has so much choice and replay value in the way that you play it that I now realize releasing each one of those levels more or less monthly gives you enough time to really get under the skin of those levels while you wait for the next one to come out. And I don't want to say that ruins the experience of having it as a full package, because it doesn't. That game is still damn good. But it's easier for me to just sit down and go through each story level one after the other, and then kind of go back and think, oh, do I want to play this again? Or I could just do the escalation on this one. It gives you a lot more choice to mess around with. But I can imagine how playing that game would have felt if I had picked it up while it was coming out in episodes. And in retrospect, I think them releasing that game in an episodic format was a brilliant idea for that reason. Just in how in-depth it lets you get with those levels, because there's so much to do. I talked about this in the Slack chat, but I spent at least an hour in the Paris fashion show level basically just looking around, because there's so much to find in those levels. I think that game is great. I am probably going to try to play it a little bit after this podcast and also tomorrow night, because I'm addicted. I kind of knew I would like that game, though, because I was a big fan, when I played it, of Hitman Blood Money, which is still a great game. But I highly, highly, highly recommend this game if anyone is thinking about buying it. It's just great open world. The replay value is unbelievable in this game. Like I said, that number 2 spot, now that I've played the game, that spot on our list was by far well-deserved. So it's good. And John, I hope you enjoy playing it as much as I have. But I'm
really looking forward to it. Yeah, I just
yeah. It's have you ever played a Hitman game before, John?
I think I put my hands on Blood Money, but not that much.
Sure. Yeah, it's got a prologue that's like a tutorial and all that, and it really gets you into the new mechanics that they have, so it's not something where if you've never played a Hitman game before, you'll be completely lost or anything. It's very intuitive and very accessible, I think. And that Steelbook edition is just a really nice release. So that's I really don't have much else to say about that game, I think, until I play more of it, because I've only played the Paris story mission, the Sapienza story mission, and maybe 3 of the escalation challenges so far, so not a whole lot. Maybe I'll have some more opinion on that next week, but I don't know if there's anything else I can add to our ongoing discussion of this game, aside from the fact that it is really good. So I have tasted the forbidden fruit of Hitman, and it tastes pretty good. That's basically been my week in games. I haven't had much time to play anything else. I did play a little bit more of Blood Money while I was waiting for that to get here the other day, and that game is still really fun. Obviously not as open as the new one, but still very open, and it still has a great amount of replay value. So that's been my week. Not much else to talk about, I guess. So I'll toss this hot potato back off to you, John.
All right, thank you. And then I will toss it right back over to Michael. Michael, how's it going?
I love baked potatoes.
Thanks.
Me too.
Yeah, they're good with the chives and butter and bacon bits and
cheese.
That's pretty much it. Maybe cheese.
I
yeah.
normally
Cheese is not like a. If it didn't have cheese, I wouldn't turn my nose up on it.
It's not essential, but I like putting cheese on my potatoes.
Sure. Yeah, I'm not anti-cheese.
Sure.
Pro cheese.
Absolutely. So what have you been up to?
Oh,
Stuff?
Yeah.
Things?
Wow.
But really, what's been going on? You play any games?
What have I been doing? Jesus. I don't know. I was kind of surprised that today was Thursday a little bit. Oh, I know what I did. Shit, I've been watching way too much wrestling.
Yeah.
That's what I did. We watched NXT TakeOver, which was pretty good. And then we watched the Rumble,
Hell yeah.
the Bumble.
I was there for that.
The Big Bumble.
Yeah, it was fun to have everyone, even non-wrestling fans, in our little chat, our little voice room.
Yeah, that was the first time I'd ever watched a live wrestling event. So pretty.
What did you think? Did you like it?
No, I loved it. I think I like I think I enjoyed the Rumble because you really don't have to know anything. You just go in and watch 30 incredibly muscled men beat the hell out of each other, and then everyone boos when Roman Reigns comes out, and you laugh and all that kind of stuff. So it was great.
That's. I think I said it during that call, but when I started getting into wrestling again, I guess it was probably about 4 years ago. Because I'd always occasionally come back to it, but I wouldn't watch it. But when I came back about 4 years ago, one of the things I would watch was the old Royal Rumbles. And then I have exhausted my uses of free WWE Networks months, because you get a free month for an email address.
Sure.
So I have exhausted those. And whenever I would have those, I would just watch the Rumble and then maybe the WrestleMania match that followed it. And I would always skip to just the Rumble because the matches before it sometimes sucked.
How many Royal Rumbles have there been? Do you know?
30.
So hypothetically, with one email address, I could get a free month to the WWE Network and shotgun one Royal Rumble a day for an entire month.
Absolutely, I mean, but
yeah, the pay-per-view itself is 3 to 4 hours, but the Rumble is only an hour.
Exactly.
And there are other ways to watch that.
Sure, yeah, but just hypothetically.
Yeah, you could do that, and it's a good way to get into current wrestling because you can watch the last couple years, and then it's also a good way to be oh, I remember that guy, and then a Minotaur comes out, and you're like, what?
Yeah, that's I've seen all of the Botchamania, Rumble Mania videos, which is kind of my those were literally my first entry into the world of professional wrestling, and at the end they always do the parade of forgotten wrestlers and shit like that, and it's always just what on earth am I looking at?
Wrestling used to be really, really good.
Yeah.
So yeah, we watched a lot of that, and then Raw, and then fucking SmackDown, and at some point it's just on, and it's just on if you don't even watch it. I've been watching a lot of videos about Japan.
Okay.
Yeah, aren't you thinking about taking a trip or something?
Yeah, so I have a couple friends who are moving out to Tokyo, and that would make a Japan trip about $3,000 cheaper.
Gotcha.
So, if I can afford it and they're still there, I might try and escape to Japan for 2 or 3 weeks.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tokyo is like, Japan is surreal. I think someone in one of the videos I watched called it like a Galapagos syndrome, with the idea of like there's such an isolated island, or had been for so long, that they have developed products and culture independent of the rest of the world.
Sure.
And watching some of these videos, it's like, you believe it. It looks like Blade Runner. There are picture after picture I see of like, here's an alleyway of neon signs, but the fronts of these bars look like they're 3 to 4 decades old at least.
Yeah.
And then here's a modern TV inside of it, and like it's just like the combination of ancient stuff, old stuff, and technology, like modern future technology. It's like, oh, it's Blade Runner. It's that everything in Japan is just surreal, and I want to go.
Sure. Take me with you.
Sure, I'll put you in my luggage.
Yeah, I can fit.
It's expensive to go.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Like $4,000 for a plane ticket.
Yeah, sounds about right. So
yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then I played a little bit. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, yeah, make sure that you report back with some good stories if you do end up going.
Yeah, I mean, it won't be anytime soon.
All right.
Like I'm not leaving in a couple of months.
Okay.
So it'll be longer than that. But yeah, I intend to abscond and then come back and report of my many tales.
Sure.
Of playing at the Sega arcade.
Yeah.
For hours on end.
As you do.
Yeah, and trying to steal a Famicom Twin or whatever I end up buying there. And I played video games.
Which ones did you play?
Not a lot, the more I think about it. I played some more Mini Metro, because that's just a good, relaxing game to play. I played a bunch more Overwatch, because of the Chinese New Year event. I'm not really getting really good stuff out of that.
Me
I haven't
neither.
gotten any of the... Yeah, I haven't gotten any of the good skins. With the winter event, I got like 3 or 4 good skins within the first week. I had most of them. I didn't have all of the ones I wanted, but I had most of them.
Yeah.
Now I don't have any. I have maybe Symmetras.
I forget how many boxes I've won from that event, but one of the first ones I opened, it had the May shelf ass skin, like the really expensive one. But that's basically been it.
I think I got hers too, but I want at least either Reinhardt's or Zenyatta's, because both of those look crazy.
Yeah, I really want Roadhog's terrifying Pigman skin, but I've yet to unlock it. So.
Y'all know what I want.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
a night alone inside Diva's suit.
She doesn't even have to be there. I just want to take her for a ride. Who gives a shit? Come on.
I know. That's what I was saying. Why? What did you think I was saying?
That I wanted to fuck her robot.
Jesus Christ, John. My God.
Please.
This is a family show.
No, it's
this
not.
This is not a family
No,
show.
it's not.
You know it.
I think it's still marked not explicit. I'd have to check on iTunes.
I don't even look. I feel like we need to figure out what explicit means, because like we cuss.
It's not that we're marked as not explicit. It's that we're marked as clean. I think that was the mark on there. I don't remember. I'd have to look. I don't even know if you can change that. I don't know how to change that.
Yeah, I don't know.
But it's on there.
You know, there should be like a mark that just says "cuss," and that's it. Like these boys cuss.
Rude.
I don't know. Some of the things we talked about.
I mean, yeah,
deserves
both episode 69 should be explicit. Those should be like not safe for human consumption. Like there should be a fucking should be like a radioactive symbol on those podcasts.
And the last thing I've played just a little bit of, and probably not going to play too much more of, WWE Champions.
Oh boy.
Christ.
It's terrible.
No shit, Sherlock.
Isn't it just like a match 3 game?
Yeah, there's we did a video of it. Scott and I did a video that you can go watch on the site or over on our YouTube, Video Game Choo Choo, and you'll be able to find it. It's a match 3 game. It's a little bit, like my fingers are very close together. It's a little bit more complicated than that. You have like a roster of wrestlers that you choose, and you can level them up using gold. Then you can use your dollars, not real money, your dollars, in-game dollars, to unlock victory loot, but you don't always get victory loot. I don't know how you get it. I don't know. And then there's premium currency, I believe. And then you get like items that help boost you up, each of your individual wrestlers. Some wrestlers do better than others, depending, like there's a complicated rock, paper, scissors going on with like 7 different elements where the charismatic guy beats the high flyer, and the high flyer beats the power guy, and the power guy beats the whomever. Like it's a big circle of weaknesses and strengths.
Sure.
All of that just to play a match 3 game.
Weird.
Where and it's a little more complicated where if you do combos, you'll pin the guy, and then he has to do enough damage to get out of it. And then when you are matching certain colors, depending on which wrestler it is, that's filling up your moves, your signature moves or your finisher. And those do a bunch of damage and will have different effects. Like one move might give you an extra turn. One move might add a double damage gem somewhere. A finisher, I believe, just automatically pins them. It doesn't win, but it'll pin them, and then they can do their damage. Or you can take their health all the way down, and then the next time you pin them, you just pin them. They don't get a chance to break out, and that's it.
All right.
They're like little campaigns you can go on. First one's like NXT. And you have to beat like 4 or 5 guys in a row before you beat Seth Rollins. And then the next one, and then once you beat that one, you get a reward. Then you move on to the next one. Then you have to beat all these guys, and you have to beat Triple H. And I think when you beat them, you get them, you recruit them. And then that's about it. And there's a lot of real money stuff in there and events. And I just look at it and go, no thanks. Bejeweled, please. It's not terrible. It's just, John, you and I were talking about it earlier because of a game you were playing, where it's like, remember the time when like mobile games were really bad, and then there was a time where it's like, oh, mobile games are gonna get really good. They're the next big thing, and then they just got worse. And that's where we are. And there are some good mobile games out there, but like, there are a lot of them are just this, and they're blah, and they're just uninspiring.
Yeah.
So I've been playing a little bit of that, and that's been about it. It's been busy. I would, if you would ask me straight up, I don't think it's been a week since the last podcast.
Sure. Yeah.
That's it.
It's really weird how fast things have been going lately. I mean, it's kind of good, but
Yeah.
And it's the first month of the year. It's always going to go kind of quick.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it'll be the beginning of May, and we'll be like, oh, we should probably plan for E3.
Yeah. Oh boy, yeah.
Fuck that, I'm already playing for Game of the Year.
Fuck you, go away.
Yeah, you need to stop.
I already have at least one entry on my top 10 list.
Oh my god. Okay.
Whatever. No.
Okay.
You're banned. You're fired.
I mean, me too, but no.
No, you're both fired. No,
okay.
Fuck out of here.
It's just gonna be Michael. By the end of the month, it's just gonna be Michael by himself. He's just gonna be like, fuck all y'all.
Hey guys, I went to the Best Buy, and I went to the kiosk, and they had a Madden there.
Yeah.
It was last year's Madden, but I played it. I was the Atlanta Falcons, and I lost to the San Diego LA Chargers, but they're not in LA yet, because it's last year's games, everybody, and
Michael's
I'm
Game of the Year.
alone.
Michael's Game of the Year list is just going to be Mini Metro 9 times and then WWE Candy Crush.
Sure, yeah, alright. Done.
Yeah.
God bless.
Fine.
That's all you gotta do.
I don't have to do that, and see you guys next year.
Ching. Alright, so as for moi, I didn't play that much stuff this week. work fucking killed me this week, so I didn't have a lot of time to play games. When I did have the time, it was mostly Yakuza 0, because I didn't really have enough money to buy anything new.
Sure.
But then, I bought Hitman, so I'm going to play that tonight. But another game came out that this is just something that I kind of put my hands on. I didn't play too much of it. But that Fire Emblem Heroes game on phones came out. And I could talk about that for a hot second.
Talk about that for a hot second.
Oh, I'll talk about that for a hot second.
Talk about that for a hot second.
I'm actually opening it right now to make sure that I don't say anything wrong. I'm gonna look through the menus so I could be like, oh, that's right. That's what I have to do. But it's one of those free to play gachapon games. We talked about it a little bit when they revealed it. But if you've ever played Puzzle and Dragons or something a little more obscure like that Fate Grand Order game or Grand Blue Fantasy, or there was a One Piece game I think that's like that. It's pretty similar to that, but the gameplay is Fire Emblem. It's shrunk down to phone size, so it's you're just kind of dragging your characters around the areas and you're battling enemies, and usually there's not more than 5 enemies on the screen at any time, and that's about how many characters you have as well. So you're just playing Fire Emblem, and you get new characters by going into this summon menu option, and you use orbs to summon new heroes. It starts off with 5 orbs, and then the next summon is 4, then 3, etc., as long as you stay on the screen. So if you back out, it resets to 5. And you get orbs by playing the game a little bit here and there. You mostly just get some by you get 1 orb for clearing a level, yada yada. Or you could buy them with real money. And the real money is kinda bad. It's a little expensive. Like I said, it's 5 orbs to buy a roll, and it's $2 for 3 orbs.
Oof.
So the lowest possible purchase doesn't even buy you a character.
Jeez. And then that resets when you exit out of the app.
Yeah, so it's it's $6 for 10 orbs, 13 for 23. It's a weird thing. The highest you can do is $75 to get 140 orbs.
Oh.
So, it's one of those things where they're trying to get the whales, but they're also you could just buy 5, or you could buy 3 orbs for $2. That's not that bad. And it's it doesn't make me want to do it because I can't even pay for a character. But the gameplay itself isn't that bad. You can upgrade your characters by you also get I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out a lot of this stuff because there's feathers.
What is the game? Is it just a typical Fire Emblem game? Here's a map and a grid. You just drag your guys to other dudes.
Yeah.
Have a battle.
Yeah, it is. It is pretty much exactly that.
Oh.
But like I said, it's way smaller.
Why would I play this when I could go play the Fire Emblem game I already own?
I mean, if you have a Fire Emblem game already, you should probably just play that. This is...
Oh, okay.
This is very much
Done.
just... Yeah, this is something that's it's free, and it's just I could just mindlessly check this game every once in a while and use whatever orbs I get, and sometimes I might spend some money on it. I don't know.
I could see myself playing it as if I could just play it a little bit and then go away and then come back and be I can just play a couple levels and then go away and come back.
You could definitely do that. That's what it seems
as a very casual thing and not have to. The one thing I really don't like about mobile games is timers. Mm-hmm. I can't play this for 3 hours.
That's a bummer
to me.
There is a stamina timer on this.
Burn it all down. Burn it all down.
But it's a lot like Puzzle and Dragons, where I feel like you really have to work at it to run out. Like, I don't know, you get like a stamina point every 5 minutes, and like right now I have 50. So unless and usually to play a level it's like 2 or 3 stamina, so it's like unless you're sitting there and you're blowing through these and you're just not stopping and you're just going fucking crazy, you're probably not going to run out of stamina. I don't know, it's just
Burn it all down.
It's one of those games. It's one of those games. So if you
Ryan, you get the gasoline, I'll get the batches.
Sure, absolutely.
Burn it all down.
if you can look past all this bullshit, I guess, it's not that bad. But I would just like, you could probably get Fire Emblem. I'm like 90% sure that Fire Emblem Awakening might be one of those like $20 3DS like classics, like player choice thing. You could probably just get that for $20. Or just, like, get Fire Emblem Fates, or get, like, any of those other games that came out. Like, I'm sure you can get some of those on, like, Virtual Console or something. Like, there are plenty of Fire Emblem games that have more options, that have more, almost variety. They have better stories. They have more characters. Like, if you're interested in Fire Emblem, get a Fire Emblem game. Like, just get Awakening. But at the same time, this is something that, like, you could just download and be like, I don't know, I'm just sitting here, it's free, fucking whatever, like, I'm not gonna judge you, but it's a free-to-play game.
Fire Emblem Awakening is still $40.
Really?
Jeez.
So Amazon had that typical, like, see buying options, so I went to GameStop. Pre-owned, $39.99. Download, $39.99. New, $39.99.
Ooh.
Okay, maybe just download this.
That's all right. Let's see what Best Buy. We're gonna live shopping
Lord.
here. Cue the shopping music.
Okay.
Oh, hang on.
Here we go.
Ryan,
Sorry.
please.
For download from Best Buy, $39.99. Used from Best Buy, only $19.99.
There you go. Go get it from Best Buy.
And then Walmart's $43.10.
What?
I assume that's okay. It's by someone else. Walmart does what Amazon does, where a third party can sell through their website.
All right, that's still really weird, but okay.
Yeah. Anyways, Awakening may be a little hard to find.
Okay, that's a bummer
for a decent price. Yeah, I mean,
but
Nintendo does that with their stuff sometimes.
That seems like something that they might eventually put on that, like, Nintendo Selects or whatever it's called. So
yeah.
I would just wait and then maybe pick it up there because
yeah,
it's not that bad. Like, Awakening is a very good game, and
it's less harny.
Little less harny.
I mean, I went through the characters earlier because you mentioned how much hornier Fates is, and damn, some of those ladies.
That's what I'm saying.
Some of those ladies need a shirt and pants.
Comparatively, Awakening is nowhere near as horny as Fates.
Yeah.
Like I told you, like, I feel like Intelligent Systems, because they put a couple of horny characters in Awakening, and they were just like, whatever, it's a Japanese RPG-esque game, there's going to be horny characters in it. But then when those characters became, like, the most popular characters and everyone loved them, and, like, people bought so many of those fucking Tharia statues where she's bending over the books, they were like, oh, okay. Alright.
It sells.
Money! Okay.
Strategy. Yeah.
Strategy.
Oh, yeah.
2 big strategic elements on every lady's chest there, it's all good. But then they just kind of went for it.
Strategically aim the Super Soaker at her white shirt. Is that the next Fire Emblem game? It's Girls Gone Wild. Is Fire Emblem Girls Gone Wild?
No, that's Dead or Alive.
Oh. I actually made that joke earlier to John of, like, Dead or Alive is looking at Fire Emblem and going, like, chill.
I would not say that. I would not go that far, but still.
No, it's called a joke.
John,
okay, John, kidding. I'm kidding.
It's hyperbole.
I'm gonna slap both of you.
It's hyperbole, so
Hyperbole? I haven't even met her.
Boo. Bad.
Let's move on to news.
Let's move on to news.
You took that joke and just the shit out of it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I kind of had to.
Jokes begging for help.
Michael, how about you do your news story first?
Skate 4.
I think you mispronounced that. You mispronounced that.
SKATE. The number 4.
But where's that hashtag, though?
Everything I say is in hashtags.
Oh,
you should know that. Yeah.
Wow.
I'm just saying that, read your news story, but if that game comes out and it doesn't have a hashtag in its title, I'm gonna be a little bummed.
If that game comes out and has a hashtag in its title, I'm gonna throw a rock at you. So I'm gonna preface this with that EA has come out and said specifically they are not actively working on a Skate 4. So take the following information however you want. One of EA's community managers decided to have a little fun, and apparently he's been doing something similar to this on his Facebook, where he tweeted out #Skate4. And then nothing else. He just tweeted about PAX South for a little while. Which, that's whatever. It was kind of like one of those things you look at it and you go, oh, that's strange, and you just move on. And then Tony Hawk did an interview with a magazine who asked him directly, are you making another skating game? And he said, yes, but not with Activision.
Mm-hmm.
And he specifically said, I'll quote, I'm not from Activision. I'm potentially working on something, but it's so early I couldn't talk about it. I don't have any contracts signed, but it's exciting. I feel like it's with the right people, so I should know more in the next couple months. And just to play super conspiracy theory, just I'm in front of a corkboard and there's red string.
Uh-huh.
If it was so early that he hasn't signed a contract and they haven't started working on it, then for EA to come out and say we were not actively working on this would make sense.
Yes.
So there could be a Skate 4.
Let's all pray.
Yeah, it'd be better than that last Tony Hawk game, but that's not a very high bar to clear, so...
I hope it never comes out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't like seeing assholes get their way, and I don't like seeing all those people who constantly still go to EA's Instagram and check out anything they post. People post #Skate4. A lot of people post that, and
really?
That is the dumbest thing. And they're all going to believe it is their little hashtag program that did it, and not maybe say the incredible failure of Tony Hawk Pro Skater 5.
Sure.
So.
Yeah. Well, what are you going to do?
It can always be better.
Yeah. And maybe they'll release it and it'll be really good.
Mm-hmm.
So. But that's it. Now we wait for Skate 5.
They're just going to skip Skate 4. Who cares?
Yeah. I kind of wish they would do that and just say no Skate 4 ever.
Yeah. Skate 5, the search for Skate 4.
You have to find Skate Forward inside of Skate 5.
All of those Instagram posts where they accidentally said Skate 5 please, then they're gonna get their wish.
Yeah.
We saw a bunch of people say they wanted Skate 5, I don't know.
Yeah, but those people were assholes to begin with, in their own unique way, and at least I can appreciate that.
Yeah. Ryan, how about you? What do you got on the table?
How about me, John? What do I have on the table? Well,
I just asked that,
today...
you fuck.
Always repeat the question word for word.
Yep, that's the first rule of documentary filmmaking if you're a shitty documentary filmmaker. So I've got a little report hot off the presses. It's so hot, it's like a hot potato. You hear me bouncing it back and forth in my hands. It's hot. Should have gotten some oven mitts for the story.
Why are you clapping it? Why are you clapping with the potato?
He's mashing
it.
It's
like mush it.
Yeah, it's like a wet potato. That's the sound. That's the sound of it hitting my hands as I juggle it. A wet potato. Well, you've never watched a potato?
What the fuck are you talking about? Wet potato.
Do you bake your potatoes and then dunk them in water?
No, I wash my potatoes before I bake them, so they are wet potatoes. Or maybe I've got a Ziploc bag of hot mashed potatoes I'm throwing around over here. Ooh, look at my Ziploc bag of hot mashed potatoes. I'm gonna
Talk about the news.
Ryan, if you don't talk about the news, I'm gonna mash your potatoes.
Ooh. All right. Anyway, I'll just save this Ziploc bag of potatoes for when I go to a movie later. But okay. So we talked about Hitman earlier, and they are connected with Square Enix, who is connected with Eidos. Correct? Am I getting this right so far?
Yes.
Eidos.
Yes.
Eidos. Potato.
Oh my god.
So some of you may remember Eidos released a Deus Ex sequel last year, Human Revolution. Mm-hmm. And they are also the developer for the Tomb Raider franchise. Well, now sources within Eidos are saying that any Deus Ex follow-up content is on hold because they are going to focus more on Tomb Raider and Marvel games. There's not a whole lot of information out yet. They haven't announced exactly what Marvel games or anything. But since there was recently the news about Square Enix developing more Marvel games, it's kind of safe to maybe think that possibly Eidos is going to be working on the recently announced Avengers project, and maybe even another Guardians of the Galaxy game. So Telltale's making one of those. Eidos may or may not be as well. So, Michael, in your article here, you mentioned that Deus Ex, and I quote, didn't exactly set the world ablaze, and Tomb Raider is still doing really well, which I think is a very fair assessment of those two franchises, and I think it makes sense for Eidos to focus more on a Tomb Raider game than any kind of Deus Ex follow-up. I know some people who liked Human Revolution, but I know more people... Mankind Divided, yeah, I've been talking about the first game, Human Revolution, excuse me. Mm-hmm. Human Revolution's a good game. Mankind Divided, I've heard pretty mixed stuff about. But there is the new Guardians game coming out, or new Guardians movie, coming out in May, but it's very unlikely a game will be out by the time that comes. There's a lot of sources coming out, but there's been no precise details on these games or the development cycle. All we know for the time being is that Deus Ex is out. It's pretty last year, and Tomb Raider and Marvel is in. So those are your Eidos fashion updates. Is that how they do fashion? They say stuff is in or it's out. Anyway, Deus Ex is on hold. There's going to be more Tomb Raider and Marvel stuff, but that shouldn't really surprise too many people, I guess.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, they probably have two teams, and when you're assigned to a new task like Marvel, you have to triage the others. And
yeah, absolutely.
The last two, like even the re-release of Tomb Raider, like that sold really well, and Deus Ex didn't. So, you know, it's easy to figure out who you're going to cut there. It seems like everyone's talking about this Guardians of the Galaxy game. I don't know where that's... Yeah, they seem pretty... The Kotaku story was pretty positive that it was a Guardians of the Galaxy game. Okay. So, that will not be out by May. There's absolutely no chance. So, and then, of course, they already announced that the Avengers project coming out of Square. So, if Deus Ex is truly on hold, then the people who made Deus Ex are probably mostly working on that Avengers project, I'd imagine. Yeah. And then maybe have Eidos handle Guardians. Yeah. That's what I would assume. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment of that situation. But I guess we'll just see what happens, because I'm sure they'll be announcing more about that pretty soon. Maybe E3? Yeah. We'll see.
So, I have a weird question for y'all. And I'd like to just run this by you, because I realized something that I kind of want more than... Okay, I'll just ask the question, and then it'll kind of answer itself for me. What would you rather Square Enix make? An actual, like, action game for the Avengers? Or an RPG?
RPG.
Same.
Yeah, I'd say RPG.
I would
guess.
love to see a huge budget, like, superhero JRPG.
That'd be wild.
That would be so crazy.
I don't even necessarily want a JRPG. Like, Marvel Ultimate Alliance was RPG enough for me. I would love it to go more, but, like, I just want something that fits sort of, like, Marvel Ultimate Alliance is the only, full Marvel game that when I think of comic book games really, like, brings all of that stuff over to the medium. Like, fighting games do a pretty good job. Like, I thought the first Injustice did a pretty good job for DC, but, like, all the little hidden characters, all the little hidden references, all the different costumes, like, that's everything that's kind of about comics in a video game. And then you add it on the RPG layers, and then you add it on, like, what 2 added, where you can combo different characters differently because of their history and because of their past. And I think the second one was the Civil War
I think so. Yeah.
Like, not necessarily that style, like that Diablo beat-em-up style, but even something as light as that layered over an action game would be just fine for me.
Yeah. You know what I want to see?
Yeah.
I want to see a damn Secret Wars RPG.
Fuck.
Bring it on. Yeah. Marvel, Square Enix, the ball's in your court. I want to see all the heroes go up against superpowered Doctor Doom, and I want to see Spider-Man get the black costume, and I want to see the Thing being the Thing, and Doc Ock, and that one guy that's made of sound waves whose name I can't remember, but he's there for some reason, and Galactus. And all those crazy fellows. I think anything in this day and age that's Secret Wars related is probably a pipe dream, but I would love that. It'd be great.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, the one problem is right now, because of the state of Marvel, you couldn't get everything in one package like you did a couple years ago or before Disney, just because of the nature of the licensing. That kind of sucks that you can't get Galactus because, well, I think Fox might be relinquishing Fantastic Four finally, but you couldn't get the X-Men to show up.
Yeah, it's really just mutants that are the problem still. So, you know,
mutants and maybe Spider-Man, depending on Sony's relationship.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Doesn't someone like have the rights to Namor or something like that still?
Probably.
Who cares?
Yeah, I know, right? But like, I could have sworn that I heard that some company like keeps like claiming they're making a Namor movie because they just want to sit on the rights. Like, who the fuck cares?
I know. It may be
the story. Here's one from June 2016. What's the story with Namor rights? And there's. The headline reads, "It's complicated."
I know some other company, maybe the same one, also has like the Man-Thing rights and shit like that. Like just all these various characters who have fallen to the bottom of the proverbial Marvel toy box, collecting dust. They just have scooped up for themselves. So
I can't read this website because it's taking so long to load. It's just a shitty fucking website.
Yeah.
I know that Ghost that kind of happened with Ghost Rider, but then because they stopped making the movies, they kind of just were just like, here, Marvel, you can have him back, and then they put they put like more current Ghost Rider, like the one with the like muscle car in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. show, and that was pretty cool.
Yeah, even though that character will always be Nicolas Cage to me.
There's a really good story behind the Superman rights of. That's why they kept making those movies for so long, and why they kept making them, what was it, Superman Returns?
Yeah.
Like, why they made that 2000, whatever year that was. Like,
yeah.
It had something to do with, like, a father and a son who had bought the rights for the movies, and I want to say I watched a documentary about it. That stuff's intense, of, like, how DC somehow is being held hostage by, like, this dude and his son for their most popular character. And I think they switched it around where they were, like, DC was allowed to make the movies, but they had, like, some sort of creative input. It was weird. It was surreal. Like, how do these dudes who just bought the license now have creative input on movies they're not making? It was I'll have to look that up, see what that is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so our last bit of news here is it's pretty wild. So if you did not know, y'all, there was an ongoing lawsuit between Oculus and ZeniMax, and that just about wrapped up this past week. ZeniMax, if you don't know, are the parent company of such famed developers as Bethesda and id and some other like studios as that. And according to the lawsuit, John Carmack, who now works for Oculus, left ZeniMax with some of their code and used it to create the Oculus Rift.
Interesting.
So Carmack claimed that he did not actually do that. He might have taken a couple of like small things, but nothing that would have like, meant anything in the long run.
A stapler, a scissors, I mean, it was
a
Rolodex.
It was a little bit of code, but it wasn't like the foundation of the Rift.
A little bit of code. How do you How do you just take a little bit of code?
I have no fucking idea. Yeah, so, like, let me, to quote this article here, it says, Carmack and others claim none of the code he worked on at ZeniMax was used in the version of the Rift that existed when Facebook bought Oculus, because the whole brunt of the lawsuit was that Oculus got bought by Facebook, and then ZeniMax wasn't able to get in on any of the money that was being made from the Rift, which they were claiming was, like, partially their code and shit like that, so,
Sure.
ZeniMax also claimed that Palmer Luckey used or demoed the Rift with some games made by Carmack before he left ZeniMax. So he was using like ZeniMax like concepts and like development time to
property, like intellectual property, and like that's their stuff. You can't.
Yeah.
Not to sell some, like, no.
Yeah.
You have to have the agreements.
Yeah, so the trial actually started in January, and like a lot of big name people showed up there. Like they actually had like testimony from Mark Zuckerberg. Palmer Luckey made his first like physical appearance ever since he got called out for being a fucking racist. It's some big named folks showed up. So according to the liability split, ZeniMax was awarded about $500 million for this. Oculus itself has to pay $250 million. Former Oculus CEO Brendan Iribe owes $150 million, and Palmer Luckey owes $50 million. And according to the agreement, Facebook is not liable to pay for anything, and Carmack isn't liable to pay anything, which is really interesting, considering that he kind of seems like maybe one of the most in fault persons in this, if this is true and all that. So it's kind of weird.
if the jury didn't say he has to pay any damages, then he's not at fault.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, it sounds like it, but
it seems like, well, that's their accusations. That's sounding like it is exactly what their accusations is supposed to do.
Yeah.
It sounds like Oculus and their CEO and Palmer Luckey were the ones who did the dirty.
Yeah.
I don't know if that means they didn't. I don't know how it all played out, but I didn't really read much into this. But it sounds like they did something very nefarious with ZeniMax's stuff.
Yeah.
And either Carmack talked his way out of it, or they felt like Carmack was not the one at fault, but rather Luckey, the CEO, and Oculus were rather at fault. I don't know.
So a couple of other things about this. Part of the proceedings that are transpiring with trying to figure out what steps will go on after this trial. Supposedly ZeniMax may try to make some moves to halt sales of the Rift until they take out the code that was basically stolen from them. So the Rift might have to see sales for a while until they reprogram it. And
I don't know if you could have a legal basis to do that.
They are going to at least try to do that. Who knows how that goes? But that's still just like pretty wild that they're gonna at least attempt to do that.
I could see them maybe restricting Oculus from producing more of the current ones with the current code.
Sure. Or
forcing them to update or something. It'd be really difficult to convince a judge to like restrict a company from selling its product completely without like an actual like deep, like, oh, you stole half our code. Like it would have to be very significant, I'd imagine. I'm no lawyer though, so who the fuck knows?
Yeah, and then recently John Carmack posted on Facebook, I don't know if I'd say rant, but he was pretty outspoken about how things went down. He was angry because ZeniMax claimed that he might have destroyed some data that incriminated him right when he learned about the lawsuit. And he was angry that they claimed that. And he also claimed that because ZeniMax claimed that he took some of id's VR code. And he said, this is just not true. The authors at Oculus never had access to id C++ VR code, only a tiny bit of plain text shader code from a demo. And then to quote him as well, he says, early on in testimony, I wanted to stand up and say, Sir, as a man of computer science, I challenge you to defend the efficacy of your methodology of data, including false positive and negative rates. After he said that he was absolutely certain there was non-literal copying in several cases, I just wanted to shout, you lie!
John Carmack's a unique, fun individual.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. Yeah, see, it says here, ZeniMax is suggested to seek an injunction to restrain Oculus and Facebook from their ongoing use of computer code that the jury found infringed ZeniMax copyrights. That's potentially a move that could present issues with the continued sales of the Rift.
Yeah, it wouldn't. It would be issues, not necessarily stop all sales.
Yeah,
those are different things.
But yeah, so I mean, it's a little interesting though that ZeniMax was seeking like about almost $6 billion. ZeniMax was seeking $4 billion in punitive damage in addition to another $2 billion in actual damages. So they did not get anywhere near that, but at the very least,
that always happens. You always ask for more,
because
the jury is inevitably going to lower it. So they asked for. That's a little crazy, but of course they asked for that. 500. Don't get it twisted. $500 million is still a lot of money.
Yeah,
like that's enough to slow Oculus down, and it hasn't. Last year wasn't exactly stellar for them. No. This is like 2017, not starting out great for them.
It's going to be a little weird.
What a time to be
forever, probably for Oculus, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
So let's move on to questions. Michael, would you like to bring us in there?
I found the information about the Namor movie.
Fill us in on the Namor rights real quick, and then we can actually go into questions.
I will just read this paragraph straight from Wikipedia.
Okay.
Filmmaker Philip Kaufman, who did like Rising Sun and Henry and June and The Right Stuff, had been in discussions with Marvel Studios to develop Namor the Submariner in 1997. He courted Sam Hamm to write the script in 1999. Sam Hamm did the two Batman movies in the early 90s. But nothing materialized. Saban Entertainment, who do the fucking Power Rangers, by the way, which is something I've also been watching on YouTube, became involved as a producing partner with Marvel with a script written by Randall Frakes. By 2001, Namor was set up at Universal Pictures, which is where the rights get real mixed up, who hired David Self to write a new script. They hoped to begin filming in 2003 for a summer release of 2004, but development stalled for 2 years until Chris Columbus got involved.
Oh no.
He entered talks to direct in mid-2004, and the release date was set for 2007. He left the project in 2005.
Oh my god.
And then Universal replaced him in 2006. Jump forward to 2012, when the Marvel CCO thought Namor's film rights had reverted to Marvel, but a year later in 2013, Kevin Feige said that was not the case, but Universal still had the rights. Good to know that they keep up with their own rights.
Oh my god.
The Hollywood Reporter said in 2014 that Marvel had the rights again. Wow. Okay, somebody wrote the same sentence twice. Feige told an interview in 2014, like a month later, I think. Yeah, like a month later, that the Namor rights are not with Universal or Legendary, but he explained there are a number of contracts and deals that need to be sorted out. In 2016, the CCO stated again that to his knowledge, Marvel owned the film rights to Namor.
Oh no.
So, yes, they have it?
So, just kind of lost in space, really.
Yeah, or deep underwater, I guess.
Yeah.
Namor is a fucking
let's go.
asshole, so I don't even care.
Yeah, I don't know why people are so obsessed with Namor. I don't.
Nobody likes him.
Whatever. Yeah. All right, you can send in questions, and you'll sound like these people. You can send questions that sound like these people to podcast@videogamechoochoo.com, or you can go over to videogamechoochoo.tumblr.com/ASK. That spells the word ask, because you'll be asking questions like these people.
Mm-hmm.
Anonymous asks, and I guess this just goes straight to Ryan, what's your favorite gross thing from Resident Evil 7?
I have some answers. I don't want to... I'll try to give some answers without spoiling anything.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite, in terms of gross things, near the beginning, there's some kind of really gruesome chainsaw dismemberment that happens that I was really into. And then there's a little bit of impromptu surgery after that to fix said dismemberment. That's kind of grody if you get grossed out by that kind of thing. Later on, you find some cabinets that are covered in spiders. And if you try to open them, like, spiders will fall off the cabinet, and there will be an animation of your person with, like, their arms covered in these tiny spiders. And I can't... Yeah, exactly. I can't even fucking imagine what that would be like playing that in VR. Like, I would die. I would just fall over and die. So, those are the first two things that come to my mind. The first thing that came to my mind was the spiders, then the chainsaw bit second. So I hope that answers your question, dear listener.
Anonymous asks, can we learn anything from the works of M. Dickey?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
I googled M. Dickey earlier and I regretted it.
He's the one that made, like, Hard Time, right?
Yes,
and,
yes.
The U Testament and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and there was that wrestling game too. God fucking Bully Demise.
Yeah.
God bless.
He's going for it. They're going for it. That's all that matters.
Yeah. Hard Time is an iconic piece of gaming history, to be completely honest.
Yeah,
but...
like I remember watching so many videos of that game where, like, you could just, like, kill like 5 people, and then you go to the court, and the judge is just like, what do you have to say for yourself? And you'll just be like, I was protecting myself. You need to understand. And the judge is just like, I understand completely. Like,
yeah,
it's so fucking weird.
I'm glad I've never played any of these games.
Oh, man.
If I remember correctly, like, a bunch of them came out on the, what's it called? The fucking...
Oh, yeah.
Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, no, I wish. No, the shitty console that everyone bought because it emulated things.
The Ouya?
The Nintendo Switch. The Ouya.
Yes, the Ouya. Yeah, like, he put a bunch of those games on the Ouya.
Ryan said it, but he cut out. So.
I apologize.
Oh, okay. That's fine.
Anonymous asks, what will happen if Skate 4 truly becomes a reality?
World peace.
We won't see Niall for like 2 weeks.
Yeah. That's very true.
Yeah.
Tony Hawk gets more money.
I might actually play a skate game.
Sure.
I want to give one of those a shot. I remember like trying Skate 2, but it seemed like really advanced, and I think that was back when I was just like, I want to play fun shooty. Yeah, I'm like there wasn't. I wasn't.
Yeah.
Doing, yeah. But
That was you last week.
yeah, you're not wrong.
That was literally a clip from last week's podcast.
Yeah.
It's you just saying that.
Yeah.
It wasn't actually you right now. That was you. That was a clip.
Thanks, Niall.
Ryan, what will happen?
See, I've never played any skate games, but
None of us have.
no, I would assume that maybe Tony Hawk, if he is involved with the project, maybe he'll get to reclaim some cred that he lost so horribly when Pro Skater 5 came out. Do the skate games do like crazy costumes on characters and that kind of thing, or is that just
Not really. I think they do more like. I want to say the craziest they really ever did was the Hall of Meat stuff, but I've never played it, so.
Okay. I don't know, maybe they'll throw in some zany costumes for that game, like skating while dressed as a giant carrot. Maybe I'd play that game if that happened. So
Play Spider-Man and Officer Dick.
yeah. Yeah, the Doom guy.
Dr. Tracksuit writes in and just says eyeballs and a knife.
Again, thanks, Niall.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
I mean, I could run away from a knife, I think.
Maybe. Unless it was like a Hitman situation and you can just throw it at like 50 miles per hour at your head and you die
It is
instantly.
a kitchen knife.
So, yeah. That's how I killed
Great.
what's the female's name, the girl's name in Sapienza, the female scientist?
I have no clue what any of their names are.
Yeah, I don't know. I had a kitchen knife when I infiltrated the kitchen, and she just kind of came around the corner, and it was like, boop. So that was that.
It's a weird feeling when you plan this like elaborate thing out, like, oh, I'm gonna go over here and shut this off, and then they just turn around the corner, and you're like, oh well, here's a knife in the head. I gotta go.
Much. That's the same thing that happened with the Iago head. I think her name's Delilah or Delia in the Paris fashion show. Like I was just up there, and she turned the corner, and I had a screwdriver, and it was just like, okay, well, see you later. And then I scaled down the side of the building to escape.
Yeah.
Game's good.
Final question. You can ask us questions, and you can be the final question if you type it or time it like just right. Mm-hmm. Like if you send in one right now, it would be the final question. I would see it, and thus make this entire speech irrelevant. You can send questions like these, and this one, and that one, to podcast@videogamechoochoo.com if you like to email stuff, or if you just like to ask strange anonymous questions about M. Dickey, you can go to videogamechoochoo.tumblr.com/ask. We end up with PSI Kick, who asks, what's something you absolutely hate about one of your most favorite games, and something you actually kind of like about one of your most hated games?
Ooh.
That's actually a really good question we haven't gotten before.
Yeah.
One of the most hated games that I absolutely detest is Superman 64. And I guess the only thing I like about it is that at least they tried to make a Superman game.
Sure.
That's it. They tried.
Do you not have one about your favorite game that has a least
I don't
favorite
know
thing?
What my favorite game would be.
Or just one of your most favorite games.
Yeah, just pick.
I guess I wish there was more customization in SimCity. I don't know. Or it's easier to customize. Like SimCity 2000, you can, with the Urban Renewal Kit, you can like draw, you can change the pixel art of the buildings and save and make your own, but it's pixel art. So you do it pixel by pixel. It takes forever. And as a kid, I used to like save, I used to just do stick figures and then save it as that. So there'd just be tiny stick figures. So it would look like people were in my city. That's it.
Okay.
I wish it was a little bit easier to customize that stuff.
Ryan, how about you?
Yeah, I thought of the least favorite part of a favorite game pretty much immediately off the bat. I thought of the first BioShock game, and one of my least favorite things about that game is how the narrative loses a lot of its momentum after you finally meet Andrew Ryan, which feels like the climax of the game, but it's more like only 2/3 of the way through. And after that happens, everything kind of slows down and the focus shifts, and I don't think it's as strong as the first 2/3 of that game. In terms of favorite mechanic for a least favorite game,
Not mechanic, just anything.
yeah, sure. My my favorite part of A Week with Garfield is how he has that shitty kick attack and his death animation where he just drops to the ground like a sack of potatoes. Those are both really good parts of that game.
God.
So,
A Week of Garfield, oh my god.
a week of shit.
Yeah.
All right, John, wrap us up.
All right.
What's your answer?
The thing that I kind of like about Ergies, God Bless the Ring, is that it's
Wait, this is your least favorite game?
yes, is that
Okay,
it's
just making sure.
is that it's named Ergies, God Bless the Ring.
Good answer.
And the thing that I hate about one of my favorite games is the platforming in No More Heroes 2 is fucking abysmal. Like, basically the 2 levels where you play as Shinobu are very bad, which is just such a disappointment because I love Shinobu. She's a great character, but actually playing as her because they decided, hey, this like third person action game that's like pretty clunky, but you can forgive it because it's like on the ground and you could just slash at shit. The fact that they decided to put platforming elements in it is not good.
Womp womp.
But yeah, that's what I could think of.
Cool. That was a good question. Thank you, PSI Kick.
And thank you, Michael, for reading those questions.
Mm-hmm. That's what groundhogs do.
And thank you all for listening to this episode of the podcast. I would just like to mention that you can go on the site to read some reviews. Ryan's got his RE7 review. Make sure that you're checking out the Yakuza review. We got a lot of videos up on the site.
Yes.
Michael mentioned that wrestling one. We also had a video for that last Neo demo that Scott and Rose did. If you want to check that out, I mean, that game's out, but if you want to see what that game's going to be like before going out to buy it, I think that would be a good way to do it. Mm-hmm. And I'm not going to say when it's coming out because I don't want to make any big promises because whenever I do that, it never happens. But I'm just going to say that our first big video project that I've been promising for years, that I've been wanting to do for years, looks like it's actually happening this time. And
yeah.
I'm really...
Let's not announce it yet.
I'm not going to.
Fully.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for everybody to see it. And we'll have more information in the future. Please be excited. Thank you, everybody.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, and we'll see. I mean, look, all I'm going to say is that I've talked about it before. So if you've been listening to the podcast for a while, you probably know what I'm talking about. But get excited. And we will see you next week with another episode of the Video Game Choo Choo podcast. Good night.